Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to make this circle dress with a back robe. So let's dive into the tutorial. First, I'm making use of 6 yards of fabric. Reason because I'll be making two of that dress with lining. So this is how I fold the lining. I'm cutting it 160 circle instead of 360 together. By the time I cut the two, both front and back, it will be 360. If you have enough material, you can make it 360, but here I'm cutting 160 160. So here I trace where the waist measurement divide by 4 fall. So I roll out the line. This is where the waist divide by 4 plus 1 inch seam allowance falls. I will go ahead and roll it. So the next thing I'll be marking is from the edge of that material. I measured exactly what I have there is 11.5 inch. So I'll be marking 11.5 inch round to get the circle, half of circle. I hope you understand what I mean. So this is the line that we'll be using. That initial line is a guideline, so this is the line that we'll be using now. So the next thing, I'll be marking the length of the full length minus half length is 23. So I'll go ahead and mark the full length plus 1 inch for seam allowance for the folding. So I'll go ahead and mark it down. After which I will go ahead and connect the whole dots. After connecting it, I'll go ahead and cut it out. So this is the front pattern. We'll go ahead and use the front pattern to cut out the back. So for the back, this is what I have here. I'll be using 1 inch for the seam allowance. So this is the 1 inch I will use for the seam zip allowance, sorry, for the zip allowance. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. After which I will slash the back. I have 2 pieces for the back, then 1 piece for the front. This is the front and this is the back. So for the upper body, I'll go ahead and mark this. It will serve us as the starting line. So on that line, I'll inserting the shoulder measurements divide by 2. That is the half of shoulder. The half of shoulder I'm working with is 7 inches. I'll be plusing it half an inch. So from there, I'll go ahead and mark the half length I'm working with is 15 inches plus 1 for seam allowance for the joining, that is 16 inches. I'll go ahead and roll it out. So here I will be inserting the shoulder measurements. From that shoulder I will go down by 8 inches for the armhole. I'll go ahead and notch that place very well. This is the chest line, so I'll go ahead and roll out the armhole. Then I'll make the armhole curve. Remember, I came in by half an inch in the middle of the armhole. So the next thing we'll be marking the neck width, which is 3.5 inches. Then the neck depth, which is 3 inches. That is 3.5 by 3 inches. I'll go ahead and make the neck curve. So after that I'll be coming down by 1 inch on the shoulder to mark the shoulder slant or shoulder slope. So on the chest I'll be inserting the bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch for seam allowance and plus half an inch for dart intake. So on the waistline I'll be inserting the waist divided by 4 plus 1 inch for seam allowance, depending on allowance that you normally use in stitching your clothes. I use 1 inch here plus half inch for that intake. So I will go ahead and cut it. Here is where this that will start, that is the nipple point. Then the dart will be inserted here, which is the 4 nipple to nipple, 4 inches. So while cutting the shoulder, remember to add an inches or allowance that we use to join the shoulders. So here I just added a small inches for the shoulder stitching. So on the nipple to nipple, I will mark where I will insert the darts. So I will use the front to cut out the back. I will be removing 3.5 inches. That is exactly where the neck width falls. So I will be removing all. I'm folding in 3.5 inches. That is where exactly the neck width falls. I will place it this way. So I will go ahead and cut out the bodice, the remaining bodice. So this is how the back is looking like. We have two pieces for the back. This is how it's looking like. So I'll proceed in cutting the sleeve. This is the sleeve. So what I have here is almost 15 inches and 14 inches. So the width is 15 inches while the length is 14 inches. So I'll come down by 4.5 here. 8 inches is exactly the sleeve round I'm working with, but I'll be making use of the whole material. So I'll go ahead and mark that 8 inches here. So I'll from there and make a curve. Just cut your regular sleeve and add it enough allowance for the gathers. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. So that is it for the sleeve. This is the two sleeve. So I went ahead and cut the lining, the down part of the lining, which is the skirt part. I minus 1.5 inch. So the next thing I'll be doing is to join the main materials, the down part. I join the sides, only the sides. So I'll go and join it and come back. Then I will do the same on the lining. So I'll do the same on the lining. So here I've done joining the skirt parts. I've done the same thing on the lining also. So the next thing I'll be doing is to stitch the main material to the lining. So I've already joined the material to the lining here. So for the upper side, I'll go ahead and turn the neck of the front. I'll turn it, then hold the dart. So for the back pattern, I went ahead and make a strap for the back pattern. It is 1.5 inch wide, while the length is as long as you can make. So after joining it like this way, I'll be cutting out 1 inch. It will serve as the loop for the back. You can make use of bias tape here. You can make use of your material depending on your choice. So this is how I'll be inserting it. You fold it. Before then I'll be coming down by 6 inches, then stitch it. Then from that 6 inches I'll be inserting it this way. I will insert and sew, insert and sew, insert and sew till I reach to the bottom of the material. So I've done stitching it, then I've hemmed the dart area. So for the back, I've done inserting the loop. This is how it's looking like, and I top stitch it so that I will have a relaxed lining. I top stitch it. So this is how it's looking like. The next thing, I'll be adding the shoulders. I'll be joining the shoulders. Sorry. I'll go ahead and join the shoulders. Then I'll join the bodies with the allowance that I added. So I've done joining the shoulders and joining the bodies with the allowance that I added. So this is how it's looking like. The next thing is to I'm recutting the armhole because it looks smaller here. So the next thing is to fold the down part of the sleeve. And I will make channel for the elastic. So this is the elastic I'm working with. Then I'll go ahead and gather the arm area. So I've done doing it here. I've gathered the arm area also. So I'll go ahead and attach it to the sleeve, to the main body, to the material. So right side facing each other, the same thing on the other side. So I've done stitching it here. This is how it's looking like. This is the front part. So the next thing I'll be notching the center of the front, sorry, center of the up. I will notch the midpoint. Do the same on the down part. After which shall we join the up and down together. So after joining, so this is how it's looking like after joining. So the next thing, I'll go ahead and hem here so that it will be neat. This is the allowance that is remaining. I'll go ahead and stitch it down. So after that, I will stitch the zipper side. I'll add zip and stitch the down. Then I will fold the down parts, both the material and the lining.